Welcome back for game 2 of our doubleheader. Team Aweseomesauce versus Disbanded, Division C West. Both teams almost in lobby. We will have game 1 on Infernal Shrines and game 2 on Sky Temple. In Division C West, there are 4 teams tied between 2nd place and 5th place with 6 points. And these are 2 of those teams. Both teams with 6 points. Team Aweseomesauce, 2 wins, no draws, 1 loss, and Disbanded, undefeated, but with only 1 domination, 1 win, 3 draws, and no losses. So if one of these teams can dominate the other, pick up the full 3 points, it will certainly set them in a primo spot in the early part of the season to stand at the top of the standings. A draw, of course, will leave them right back where we started. So on Infernal Shrines Game 1, one of my favorite maps. Actually, I like the majority of the maps in the map pool. One of the reasons I like NGS is that we don't have to play in those other lame maps. We can play on the competitive ones. And Infernal Shrines is certainly one you see a lot of. It's one of the more balanced ones. One of the more kind of straightforward maps, I would say. With mercs top and bottom, 3 objectives, you kill the little Shrine Guardians. So almost ready to go here, just waiting for one last player, it looks like. So I expect to see a high prioritization on a Maiev on here, a Stukov with the zoning. This is one of Alex Straza's better maps too. She's a little bit niche as a support, but this is one of the maps where she can get value, no doubt. You have these long protracted battles over the objective, and her dragon form can really swing those battles one way or the other. I don't think I've had the pleasure of casting either one of these teams so far this season, so I am going to learn with you guys what they're all about. I said both off to a strong start so far with their 6 points. Malfurion is also solid on here. Malfurion and Stukov kind of top of the meta as far as supports go. So would not be surprised to see either or both either banned or highly prioritized. It's pretty unusual to see both Stukov and Malfurion get past that mid-ban phase. They're either, excuse me, they're either selected early or banned early. All right, looks like we're going to be hitting the button now. All right, welcome to Infernal Shrines for our game number 1 between Team Aweseomesauce and Disbanded. This was Disbanded's choice of map, so Team Aweseomesauce will have first ban. There's no, I would call any one hero right now that is absolute first ban material. Phoenix was that for a little while after release. I don't think he's there anymore. And they opt to go with Hanzo. Hanzo's scatter arrows are excellent on the Shrine Guardians and on the Merc camps. He's also just, I mean, you could make the argument that he is the top all-around ranged damage dealer in the game right now. And the Dragon Arrow is a really useful tool for setting up your team and following up on hard CC. And the trait makes him very slippery if his trait is up. Very hard to lock him down and take him out. Team Aweseomesauce having no part in that, and first ban Hanzo. So Disbanded, I'm curious to see where they go with this. Some potential bans, you tend to see this early. You could go with a Garrosh. You do see Phoenix occasionally banned out this high. Stukov also banned out pretty regularly. Fighting into the AoE silence is really tough, and they go with a Greymane. You don't typically see him banned quite that highly. He's fallen off just a little bit. I wonder if that was a targeted ban. And a pretty quick lock on the Phoenix. Team Aweseomesauce. Excuse me, I am a little bit under the weather. Team Aweseomesauce really wasting no time grabbing that Phoenix. Clearly they were targeting him. And let's see what the response out of Disbanded is. Varian is a really nice counter to Phoenix. The taunt lockdown is great, of course, but the shattering throw on Phoenix's shields really does a number on him. So Varian is a possibility if they want to do something to directly counter out that Phoenix player. About 10 seconds left. I expect to see either a support or a tank and some kind of ranged. Stukov Diablo, they went both support and tank, leaving the rest of the backline and the offlane to flex into. Diablo's really taken off in the meta the last couple weeks. He's really solid, and Stukov is always good. I do think he is just a little bit better on Infernal Shrines than he is usually, so I really like the Stukov pick. If Team Aweseomesauce wants the Malfurion, I think this is the time you take it. There is a good chance it will be banned if you don't select it here.
Oh, this is my jam!
And they go with a Sonya Lucio. Second time in a row we've had a Lucio. We had one in our set earlier today. Don't see him quite as much. They did a really nice job with that Lucio. Sonya, of course, taken for that solo lane, one of the probably top 2 or 3 strongest solo laners in the game right now. So obviously, Disbanded not going to be banning the Malfurion like I suggested. I think this kind of has to be a main tank ban here. I suppose Garrosh, but there's not a lot of follow-up for the toss, so maybe they're not targeting that. ETC is always a strong tank. Johanna is good on shrines. Don't know if she is quite ban worthy, but she is very strong on Infernal Shrines. Let's see what they go with. And they ban out the Tyrael. I would not have seen that coming, but Sanctification is one of the most impactful heroics and heroes, and when timed correctly, can just completely change a team fight. Particularly with APOC, you just sanked on top of the APOC, and it kind of cancels it out. Maiev ban coming out from Team Aweseomesauce. Don't want to see that. CC and pick pressure. Totally understandable there. There's the Varian to counter out the Phoenix. That is going to leave them a little bit weak in the solo lane. Varian cannot solo against Sonya, so that means they'll either have to draft someone else who can, possibly into a triple melee, or they're just going to kind of take their lumps as Sonya bullies Varian a little bit. Varian, since they moved his heroic choices to level 4, has been seeing a lot more play. I think that was really good for him. It was really hard for teams to wait all the way to level 10 to get a fully rounded out hero selection. Now at 4, it makes him, especially with taunt at level 4, a little bit of an early game monster. Between 4 and 10, Varian puts a lot of pressure on the opposing team, and they round that out with a Jaina. So a taunt to the Jaina blow up. That's going to be a lot of pick pressure. Diablo with the Jaina blow up as well. Team Aweseomesauce is going to need to pick a main tank here, and I were to guess some kind of another backline damage dealer. Although not necessarily. I've seen teams run triple melee before, or maybe some kind of specialist if that's what they want to do. Blay is still not taken yet. Teams prefer him as an offlaner, I think, but he is more than capable of main tanking. Instead, they go with Johanna Kerrigan. Interesting. Kerrigan used to be kind of the hotness on Shrines. Fallen out of it, but she still is a niche pick on here, and a Stukov who can be kind of stationary and is limited in the ways that he can respond to burst damage. That's going to be an interesting pickup to see what Team Aweseomesauce is able to do with that, and the response Nazebo. I'm not really sure which one of these drafts I like better. I think it will be easier for Disbanded to initiate a kill with a Diablo variant, much more straightforward initiation. On the side of Team Aweseomesauce, Johanna has very limited ways that she can engage, as does Sonya. So it's really going to be a lot on the Kerrigan to time when she decides to really go in there and try to land her combos. But if Kerrigan is on the money with those combos, especially if she can get onto Stukov or Jaina, that could be a problem for Disbanded. The other thing to consider, though, Jaina does get Ice Block, as does Nazebo, so both Jaina and Nazebo have ways to buy themselves some time from an aggressive Kerrigan. So we'll see if they're able to do that. So blue team, Team Aweseomesauce, we have Funk Panda on Lucio, Team Captain Akash on Phoenix, 7 Uppers on Sonya, Prudentius69 on Johanna, and finishing up her sandwich at the Hall of Storms, the Holy Grail on Kerrigan. Red team, Disbanded, has Skibo on Nazebo, Circe on Jaina, Megalomania on Varian, Recon on Diablo, and Fleur de Mer on Stukov. I love some of these names. Skibo on Nazebo. It's pretty funny. So aggressive posturing by Disbanded, not nearly as aggressive posturing by Team Aweseomesauce, although they do come in. Recon is really low, eats the full Kerrigan combo, and 23 seconds into this game, Diablo becomes first blood. Kerrigan already paying dividends, going crazy. Are they going to get a triple kill to start this game? They are. So quite a bloodbath coming out from Team Aweseomesauce. They pick up 3 quick kills with Diablo, Varian, and Stukov all falling to an aggressive Kerrigan played by the Holy Grail. In the top lane, it is Sonya against Jaina. Are they going to use Jaina up here just to hold the lane until someone else arrives, or are they actually going to have Jaina solo? So Jaina versus Sonya solo. Jaina will not be able to get those globes. Sonya will 100% bully those off of him. Jaina has the wave clear to minimize the damage, but not to really hold off Sonya. So this is definitely Sonya's lane to lose. Now Nazebo coming up here. In the bottom, I love what Holy Grail is doing on Kerrigan, playing with the vision, staying out of sight, and just waiting for that opportunity to pounce on somebody. 4-man rotate. They're going to want to go on to Stukov here. Double stun. Diablo and Stukov both go down with the follow-up from Lucio, and Stukov does go down. Diablo able to limp away to safety. So 4 early kills, an aggressive 4-man rotation, and Team Aweseomesauce has themselves the early game momentum. I don't think I've seen Holy Grail miss one combo yet. Varian in trouble, walks away with low hit points. Johanna's already started on the bottom camp here. Holy Grail is hitting the combos, and then you have Funk Panda coming in there for the follow-up boop, not allowing anybody to really get away to safety. And Disbanded certainly on their heels, trying to get some camps of their own. Johanna will sniff this out, but they'll be too late to do anything about it. Sonya, meantime, has left top lane to grab camp, so nobody's soaking on the side of Team Aweseomesauce in the top lane. Despite that, they do have a full, almost level lead, courtesy of their 4 unanswered kills. This objective is going to be set up much more favorably for Team Aweseomesauce. They're rotating onto Varian, trying to catch him. He might be in trouble. Boot by Funk Panda. Varian trying to walk away. Stukov and Jaina trying to peel for him. If the combo lands, he won't get away, but he does. In the meantime, Team Aweseomesauce does have camp pushing top and a level advantage. It will be interesting to see, and they're really taking their time. Not only are they not going into the Shrine objective yet, but they're going to grab this mid camp and increase the lane pressure, really forcing Disbanded to make some tough decisions. Do they come in on the Shrine? Do they clear the waves? Although level 4 is here, Sonya running for her life and does get out just out of range of Varian. And now it looks like Team Aweseomesauce is finally going to get on the Shrine and grabbing almost 10 of the Shrine Guardians nearly instantaneously. Disbanded did clean up those Mercs in the top lane pretty quick. Mid lane Mercs are pushing. It looks like they don't care about that. Kerrigan flipped and charged. A lot of damage going out. Johanna might be in trouble. The re-engage by Kerrigan does catch Varian. Nobody fallen quite yet, but Varian very close to being the first to do so, as is Stukov. However, it's Diablo and Stukov first to go. Nice dodge by Cersei to get away from a bloodthirsty Kerrigan. 75 hit points on Varian, and 1 auto attack from Akash is able to wrap up Varian. 7 kills to none. Early advantage certainly going to Team Aweseomesauce. They've secured the Mortar Punisher. Sonya is off side soaking, and they now have almost a 2-level lead as Red Team's mid fort under heavy assault. No side soaking for Disbanded. They are here in full to defend this. Kerrigan is absolutely running rampage over Disbanded right now. They really don't seem to have an answer for her, and now a 2.5 level lead as John Cena finally going to fall in front of the Keep outer defenses. On the way out, Team Aweseomesauce will finally pick up the fort itself. So level 9 to level 6, 3-level advantage, only 5 minutes and 20 seconds into the game. That's really rough going here for Disbanded. 8 unanswered kills to 0. Sonya doing a nice job of side soaking that top lane, but also being aware of the rotations and getting out of trouble before she can get caught and picked. It's definitely a big deal when your offlaner gets picked off, and Sonya's done a nice job of not falling trap to those rotations. Level 10 almost here for Team Aweseomesauce. They are going to put a lot of pressure on this bottom fort. Are they going to try to push in and take it for free? With level 10, they certainly could do that. Maelstrom for Kerrigan, Sound Barrier for Lucio, Blessed Shield for Johanna. Is that Planet Cracker? Nope, Purification Salvo on Phoenix, and Wrath of the Berserker on Sonya. So with a 3-level advantage, Team Aweseomesauce takes bottom fort for free. Sonya is still safely soaking in the top lane and defending. All 5 members have disbanded. See if they can catch Sonya, and I think this time she's not gonna get away. Oh, very close. No, apparently Zombie Wall was probably on cooldown, and that was a hard rotation to not pick up the Sonya there. In the meantime, Team Aweseomesauce continuing to pressure bottom lane. They have absolute control over the early game. Stukov holding his ground before finally withdrawing. A 4-on-4 in the bottom. However, no heroics for Disbanded. They do drive away. Aweseomesauce not wanting to push too much and overstay. Still level 12 to level 8. This is a very tall hill to climb for Disbanded. Aweseomesauce has been a little bit quicker on their rotations, putting pressure on the mercs. And of course, 8 unanswered kills, very hard to deal with as well. Disbanded definitely on their heels right now as they try to get 10. They need 10 before this objective pops. They cannot contest this objective without their level 10s. If I am Aweseomesauce, I am getting to this objective as soon as possible and seeing if I can pop this objective before they even get to level 10. They have more than a half a level to go, so you're going to have some time if your team Aweseomesauce to capture this objective before level 10 arrives for Disbanded. And it looks like that's what they're going to do. It's going to be close. All 5 members of Disbanded are rotating up here. I think they probably should have stayed mid lane for one more wave. Nazebo is kind of throwing some stuff in there, some toads and spiders. Yeah, Varian is going to mid lane. They are not going to get 10 before the Arcane Punisher is captured by Aweseomesauce, and I think this fort is pretty much toast, and Disbanded may feel the same way. Nazebo is not the guy you want John Cena to go on, nor is Stukov, so you want to, yeah, there, you got to just back up. That fort is 100% dead. Varian and Jaina doing a nice job of picking up as much soak as possible, but they're going to need to come up here for this defense. So it is not selected. There it is. Water Elemental by Jaina. Shield Wall for Varian. What is that on Stukov? I don't know his icons. Flailing Swipe for Stukov. Apocalypse and Gargantuan to round out the heroics for Disbanded. They are digging their heels in front of this wall. John Cena goes and stuns 2, both Varian and Stukov. Team Aweseomesauce not pressing their advantage, though. They're showing a lot of patience. With the 4-level lead you certainly have, or 3.5 level lead, you can certainly show patience. They have all of their structures up, but Disbanded now finally in a position to make a move. They have their 10s, all of their keeps are up, and getting some kind of weird lag spike. I hope that's just me and it comes back. Well, for some reason, my game client crashed. That is the first and only time I've ever had that happen. We are in the middle of a rejoin, so hang tight. Hopefully we'll have the game back here in just a minute. Okay, so we are back, and game's still going on. So 16-13. Aweseomesauce still with a large lead, and while we were gone, the top keep for Disbanded fell, and we're going to have another Punisher going to the side of Team Aweseomesauce. This time a Frozen Punisher will be marching down the mid lane. Still 12 kills unanswered coming from Aweseomesauce. Disbanded just hasn't been able to find their footing in any of these team fights. And who will John Cena dive on? And it is Diablo. That's who you want it to dive on. If you're one of the teammates of the tanks, you want to try to avoid multiple members of your team getting jumped on by the Punisher if you can. Aweseomesauce moving in aggressively, really having very little fear, up 4 levels. Purification salvo goes out, Diablo goes down. Team Aweseomesauce, they're going to look keep, and then they're going to look core. John Cena still up, 2 keeps down, and now Team Aweseomesauce has started applying damage to the core. APOC goes down, catches 3. They almost get Lucio, who escapes instead. No. So Varian, Diablo, Lucio, and Sonya all go down. That might be enough to deter Aweseomesauce from ending the game, and it is. So despite members falling, Disbanded has kept their core alive for now. They are definitely in dire straits, though. They will have to contend with double catapult lane pressure the rest of this game. On their way out, Team Aweseomesauce decided to pick up the bruisers that belong to Disbanded. So this is the time, believe it or not, if you're Disbanded, that you are starting to think about what you do to get back in this game. Jaina now has her... Oh, that wasn't Ice Block, that was her Globe quest. But when they get 16 here, that puts them on same talent tiers basically the first time this game. And you want to try to force something out if you can before Team Aweseomesauce gets 20. You don't want to let them get 20 and be at a disadvantage one more time for the next objective. On the flip side of that, of course, Team Aweseomesauce does not want to let Disbanded get this. However, same talent tier or not, they're making an aggressive rotation. The two teams find each other. Maelstrom popped. There's the combo, and Diablo the first to go